What is happening in there, J Gaming Dude here, and I want to ask you a quick question, but how does it feel like to watch your childhood kind of squander for a little bit and then kind of just disappear? Is it more of a mercy kill to shut down a company that seems to have been going downhill for quite some time, or is it just putting something out of its misery that's been suffering for way too long? That is what we're talking about with Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth has been around for a long time, since 2003 to now, unfortunately, RIP 2024, right on the gravestone there. So with the WB Discovery merger that was happening, WB is now shutting down Rooster Teeth. That means Red vs. Blue is going to finish with its final season, and a lot of people are now going to be out of a job. Now, I was thinking to myself, hold on. So with the whole Rooster Teeth rebranding that they did, I want to say last year, they split out everything into separate channels, like the Achievement Hunter guys became Dog Bark, Funhouse was still around, sort of. The Rooster Teeth podcast itself went to a completely different channel after completely changing the host, which I think that's probably the last piece of Rooster Teeth content that I actually watched, was that final episode of like the original crew minus Bernie on the Rooster Teeth podcast before they completely changed everything. So, and they have been through a lot of like drama, a lot of accusations, if you will, of toxic workplace, harassment of various kinds throughout like the years. The death of Monty Ohm after Ruby season 2, I want to say. But yeah, so effectively, a lot's happened. A lot has happened, and there's many ways of being able to look at like Rooster Teeth shutting down. I'm personally sad because of my favorite piece of content was always going to be the RTAs, or the Rooster Teeth animated adventures, where they would animate scenes, animate stories from the Rooster Teeth podcast into their own separate thing. And I mean, even if I go back and watch like the first 200 of those, they would release one a week, and more often than not, most content from Rooster Teeth were usually 1 to 5 minutes long, until they started doing sort of more longer form stuff, because YouTube was monetizing with mid-roll ads and stuff like that when that was introduced. But of course, you had to have at least 8 minutes of content to talk about and things like that, and that was completely an option that anyone who had a YouTube channel at the time could do. It's kind of sad to see again stuff like let's put it this way, the shift away from like Achievement Hunter, for example. So they don't really do much in the way of gaming content, at least as much as they used to, and instead we have something like Dog Bark, which is more sort of comedy sketches, and just random junk like that. So it's this amalgamation of random stuff that changed over time, and is incredibly sad to see things change when you would much rather have them be the way they used to be. But maybe that wasn't the way to make money, because the stuff that these guys make is not cheap. It's actually quite expensive, looking at like the sets, the costumes, the people. You put everything together, like sure, like a 2-man team at their own house could probably make just as much content, but like those two guys could still make more money than what Rooster Teeth could, because there's only 2 guys. They don't have some expensive location that still needs to be paid off because of the mortgage. Like there's so much about it. Sure enough, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with the Rooster Teeth podcast network. So effectively what they do is, if you are part of the network, you have sort of different parts of the contractual obligation. Like Rooster Teeth needs to meet some sort of contractual arrangement if you are part of that group. I only know about Kinda Funny's side because like I watched their content, and what happened was Greg did mention it on a KFGD or a Kinda Funny Games Daily the day that this news broke, which was that their extent of it is that they will continue to operate even if that were to shut down. It's just that all they get is sponsorships and ad reads from the Rooster Teeth podcast network. That's the only benefit they get. But other parts of the podcast network might benefit differently. In saying that, it's unfortunate to see, and it sucks that like Rooster Teeth is shutting down again. Like the first few pieces of content was me just sitting down watching Achievement Hunter with like I don't know, Michael just like, you know, doing rage quit with something like Quap, or watching some Minecraft videos but not getting too much into that sort of space. Or I mean, there's so much stuff. Like Surgeon Simulator was a huge one. I knew that one kind of blew up for him, but I was not much of an RVB kind of guy. I was originally like a fan of Ruby for the first couple of seasons, and after that just completely dropped off. But RTAAs have always been entertaining to watch, because it's been like, take the most entertaining stories, turn them into their own little animated shorts and things like that. It sucks. It's over. But again, I go back to the idea of, was this a mercy kill, or was this stagnating corpse just rotting away in the corner and someone had to just pick it up and throw it in the landfill? That really is the question that I guess I'm just wanting to kind of put out there. Though, with all of that said and done, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Please share your favorite Rooster Teeth memories, what you feel like, how do you feel about Rooster Teeth shutting down? What do you think about my question about like, is it like about time that they killed it off, or was it dying the whole time and we just tried to ignore it until the smell of the corpse was too bad for any of us to really be able to tell? With all of that said, please like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year, and with all of that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.